You referred that in India we have not given due respect to the ancient knowledge which we had. Rather, it has been a Western thought which is mostly, say, we understand or we feel that it is say, whether it is science or whether it is chemistry or whether it is physics, that is the only truth. Can you just suggest what is the origin and when it really started from your experience, please?
Well, I think it started 1,000 years ago because we had great viharas.
I'm just sorry to interrupt you. Whether it has anything when the colonialism started in India, whether it has any origin to Lord Macaulay, who is really given.
That is part of the answer. That is, I have to answer that. Sure, I understand. I think it started long before Macaulay, because India had centers of learning like Nalanda, like Takshashila. These were destroyed long before the British came. They were destroyed. Muhammad Khilji's armies burnt Nalanda, and a huge library, considered the largest library in the world, many times bigger than the Library of Alexandria. And Nalanda was a university where the brightest, the cream of the cream from various parts of Asia used to come. Like today people go to MIT, Stanford, Harvard. They used to come to Nalanda to learn. And so the knowledge, the production of knowledge in these universities and these R&D centers were destroyed. So the history of Nalanda is now preserved only through foreign students, Chinese students who wrote and other students who wrote about their experience in Nalanda. That has been utilized to reconstruct the history of Nalanda. Multiple volumes have been written on that. So I would say that the destruction of Indian centers of learning, which happened long ago, long before the British period, was the beginning of this decline of R&D, indigenous R&D. And the word Bihar is actually Vihar. It's Vihar. And Vihar is the institution of learning. So there were 20, 30 big Vihars. Nalanda was just one of them. Huge number of universities there in that part of the world. So one of the most backward states and less educated states today was actually one of the centers of learning of the whole of Asia at one point in time. So this is probably what did it. Now, the Mughals they continued the manufacturing economy because they settled and became Indians. So they continued the manufacturing economy, and they built great monuments, and they invested in culture. But I think in the science of inquiry, challenging the existing knowledge is part of the paradigm, and I'm not sure how tolerant they were of people basically challenging the nature of truth. I'm not sure how tolerant they were. And the British, of course, wanted to also milk the Indian manufacturing economy and at some kind of a huge up to 90% taxation rates they had, and then gradually de-industrialize India and migrate this textile and steel industry to Britain. So part of this was necessary to create a kind of a servant mentality, a dependent mentality, and therefore education had to be changed. And this is where Macaulay comes in to sort of remove the traditional knowledge of India, remove the pride in India, and introduce a new kind of a knowledge system. School, so the traditional Pathshala, very close relationship between student and teacher, replaced by something far away. A guy called Dharampal, some of you might know, he was a Gandhian who just died within the last 5 years. He actually went to England and camped out there in their old archives before there were photocopies and all that available, and manually transcribed a whole lot of East India Company records to bring back East India Company's own studies on Indian education before and after their intervention. Very interesting. How educated people were, how practical the education was in terms of farming knowledge or raising cattle or whatever, versus what it became after the intervention of Europe. So that is what happened.